Have you ever felt like your happiness depends entirely on others? Do you find yourself constantly seeking approval or validation from those around you? If so, you're not alone. Many people struggle with emotional dependency, but there's hope for change. In this video, we'll explore what emotional dependency is, why it happens, and most importantly, how to break free from it. Emotional dependency is a state where we rely too heavily on others for our emotional well-being. It's like giving someone else the keys to our happiness. This can lead to a lot of stress and unhappiness in our lives. We might feel anxious when we're not with certain people, or we might struggle to make decisions on our own. These are just a few signs that we might be emotionally dependent. There are several signs that can indicate emotional dependency. One common sign is a constant need for approval from others. If you find yourself always seeking validation for your choices or feelings, it might be a sign of emotional dependency. Another sign is a fear of being alone. This doesn't just mean physical solitude, but also the fear of not having someone to rely on emotionally. Many people who are emotionally dependent also have difficulty making decisions without input from others. They might feel paralyzed when faced with choices, always looking to others for guidance. This can lead to a loss of confidence in their own judgment. Additionally, people who are emotionally dependent often neglect their own needs in favor of others. They might put their own wants and needs aside to please others or avoid conflict. Understanding the root causes of emotional dependency is crucial in overcoming it. Often, these patterns start in childhood. If we grew up in an environment where our emotional needs weren't consistently met, we might develop a pattern of seeking that emotional fulfillment from others as adults. Low self-esteem is another common cause. When we don't value ourselves highly, we might look to others to provide that sense of worth. Past relationship patterns can also contribute to emotional dependency. If we've been in relationships where our worth was tied to pleasing our partner, we might carry that pattern forward. Societal expectations can play a role too. In many cultures, there's pressure to be in a relationship or to prioritize others' needs over our own, which can feed into emotional dependency. The cost of emotional dependency can be high. It often leads to increased stress and anxiety. When our emotional state is so tied to others, we might constantly worry about their reactions or feelings. This can be exhausting and take a toll on our mental health. Emotional dependency can also strain our relationships. Paradoxically, the very relationships we depend on can become strained under the weight of our needs. Another significant cost is the loss of personal identity. When we're emotionally dependent, we might lose touch with our own desires, opinions, and goals. We might become so focused on others that we forget who we are as individuals. This can lead to a sense of emptiness or lack of direction in life. Additionally, emotional dependency can cause us to miss opportunities for personal growth. We might avoid challenges or new experiences out of fear or insecurity. To overcome emotional dependency, it's essential to understand and build self-worth. Self-worth is the internal sense of our own value as a person. It's different from external validation because it comes from within us, not from others. When we have a strong sense of self-worth, we're less likely to depend on others for our emotional well-being. Building self-worth takes time and effort, but it's possible for everyone. It starts with recognizing our inherent value as human beings, regardless of our achievements or others' opinions. We can build self-worth by setting and achieving personal goals, practicing self-compassion, and acknowledging our strengths and positive qualities. Developing emotional independence is a key step in overcoming dependency. This involves becoming more self-aware, understanding our own emotions and needs. We can practice this through activities like journaling or meditation, which help us tune into our inner experiences. Setting personal boundaries is another important aspect of emotional independence. This means learning to say no when we need to and not taking on more than we can handle just to please others. It's about respecting our own limits and needs even when it might disappoint others. Learning to say no can be challenging, especially if we're used to always saying yes. But it's a crucial skill for emotional independence. Start small, perhaps by declining minor requests that don't align with your needs or values. Remember, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It's a form of self-respect. Cultivating self-compassion is also vital. This means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a good friend. When we make mistakes or face challenges, instead of harsh self-criticism, we can practice self-compassion. This helps build resilience and reduces our need for external validation. The power of letting go is a fundamental concept in overcoming emotional dependency. Letting go doesn't mean not caring. Instead, it's about releasing our tight grip on things we can't control, including other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions. When we let go, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to manage everything and everyone around us. Letting go of emotional attachments can bring numerous benefits. It can reduce stress and anxiety, as we're no longer constantly worrying about things outside our control. It can improve our relationships, as we allow others the space to be themselves without our expectations or demands, and it can increase our own sense of freedom and personal power. There are several techniques we can use to practice letting go. One is mindfulness, which involves observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we notice ourselves becoming attached or dependent, we can acknowledge these feelings and then gently let them go. Another technique is to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, rather than trying to control others or external circumstances. Building a healthy support system is important as we work on becoming less emotionally dependent. A good support system provides encouragement and understanding, but doesn't enable dependency. It's about creating balanced relationships where there's mutual support and respect for each other's independence. To build a balanced support network, start by identifying the healthy relationships in your life. These are relationships where you feel respected, supported, and free to be yourself. Focus on nurturing these relationships. At the same time, you might need to create some distance from relationships that reinforce dependency. It's important to understand the difference between support and dependency. Support is about having people you can turn to when you need help or encouragement, but still maintaining your independence. Dependency, on the other hand, is relying on others to meet all your emotional needs. A healthy support system should empower you to stand on your own feet, not keep you dependent. Self-care is a crucial component of overcoming emotional dependency. It's about taking responsibility for our own well-being rather than expecting others to take care of us. Self-care encompasses physical, emotional, and mental aspects of our health. Physical self-care includes things like getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, and engaging in regular exercise. These basic practices help us feel better physically, which in turn supports our emotional well-being. When we take care of our bodies, we're better equipped to handle emotional challenges. Emotional self-care involves acknowledging and processing our feelings in healthy ways. This might include practices like journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or seeking professional help when needed. It's about learning to sit with our emotions, even uncomfortable ones, rather than always seeking to escape them or have others fix them for us. Mental self-care is about nurturing our minds. This can involve activities like reading, learning new skills, or engaging in hobbies that challenge us cognitively. It's also about managing stress through techniques like meditation or deep breathing exercises. Taking care of our mental health helps us think more clearly and make better decisions, reducing our tendency to rely on others. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for achieving emotional freedom. At its core, mindfulness is about being fully present in the current moment, without judgment. It's a state of awareness where we observe our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them or trying to change them. Practicing mindfulness can help us in letting go of emotional dependency in several ways. First, it helps us become more aware of our patterns of thinking and feeling. We might notice, for example, how often we seek validation from others or worry about their opinions. This awareness is the first step in changing these patterns. Mindfulness also helps us create a bit of space between our thoughts or feelings and our reactions to them. Instead of immediately acting on every emotion or thought, we can pause and choose how to respond. This can be particularly helpful when we're feeling the urge to seek reassurance or validation from others. There are many simple mindfulness exercises we can try. One basic practice is mindful breathing. This involves focusing our attention on our breath, noticing the sensation of each inhale and exhale. When our mind wanders, which it inevitably will, we gently bring our attention back to the breath. This simple exercise can help calm our minds and increase our awareness. Another mindfulness practice is the body scan. This involves systematically focusing our attention on different parts of our body, noticing any sensations without trying to change them. This can help us become more aware of how emotions manifest in our bodies and can be a grounding technique when we're feeling overwhelmed. As we work on overcoming emotional dependency, it's important to be prepared for setbacks. Change doesn't happen overnight, and there will likely be times when we fall back into old patterns. This is normal and doesn't mean we're failing. Common challenges in this process might include feeling overwhelmed by emotions when we're not getting the validation we're used to, or struggling to make decisions on our own. We might also face resistance from others who are used to our dependent behaviors. It's important to remember that these challenges are part of the growth process. To stay on track, it can be helpful to have strategies in place. One strategy is to keep a journal of our progress, noting both successes and setbacks. This can help us see the bigger picture of our growth over time. Another strategy is to have a plan for difficult moments. This might include a list of self-soothing activities we can turn to when we're feeling the urge to fall back into dependent behaviors. Patience and self-forgiveness are crucial in this journey. Change takes time, and it's important to be patient with ourselves as we learn and grow. When we do slip up, practicing self-forgiveness can help us move forward, rather than getting stuck in guilt or self-criticism. Creating a personal growth plan can help structure our journey towards emotional independence. This plan should include realistic goals that are specific and measurable. For example, a goal might be to practice saying no to non-essential requests at least once a week, or to spend 10 minutes each day on a mindfulness practice. Tracking progress is an important part of any growth plan. This could involve keeping a journal, using a habit tracking app, or having regular check-ins with a trusted friend or therapist. Seeing our progress can be motivating and help us stay committed to our goals. It's also important to celebrate small wins along the way. These could be moments when we successfully set a boundary, made a decision without seeking others' approval, or practiced self-care instead of looking to others for comfort. Recognizing and celebrating these moments reinforces our new behaviors and boosts our confidence. Overcoming emotional dependency and learning to let go is a journey of self-discovery and growth. It involves understanding the roots of our dependency, building self-worth, developing emotional independence, and practicing self-care and mindfulness. It's about creating a life where we're interdependent, able to connect deeply with others while maintaining our own emotional stability and independence. This journey is unique for each person. What works for one might not work for another. It's about finding the strategies and practices that resonate with you and help you move towards greater emotional freedom. The path may not always be easy, but the rewards of emotional independence are worth the effort. I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. What resonated with you? What's one small step you could take today towards greater emotional independence? Remember, every journey begins with a single step. Thank you for watching this video on stopping emotional dependency and learning to let go. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring. If you have any thoughts or experiences you'd like to share, please leave a comment below. Your insights might help others on their own journeys. Until next time, take care and remember, your emotional well-being is in your hands.